good to go. We're good to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first online event. That was very, very happy introduction, wasn't it?
Very happy indeed.
I don't know what that voice was. Welcome to the very first real webinar what we're actually doing, not just a simple live stream called From Zero to Hero. Why from zero, why to hero? Essentially, we'll be discussing how we in Northampton went from not having an esports society, just mere 2 years ago, to being in NSE finals and having the amazing facilities, the esports arena, and everything like that. Right. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jonas. I'm the esports coordinator. So I run the house, I run the program. I do a lot. Yeah. So I'm the full-time member of staff in Northampton, looking after this program. I am, as far as I can tell, the only person in UK to have this role, like university esports coordinator.
I think there's a...
I can host, one thing I realized yesterday, I can actually host a industry-wide getaways to Ibiza. Well, obviously not now. To myself. Just go and play. I probably can't claim it, but anyway. Honestly. This is Pedro. Pedro is the Northampton Esports Society president.
I am indeed. I just got the role this year. I was treasurer last year, so...
Making up in life, eh?
I am moving up in the world. Moving up in the world. What can I say?
What are you studying, Pedro?
I am studying digital media currently. I'm a third-year student.
Yeah, so not worried about dissertations and things like that.
Of course not.
Just a little thing. Right, so we have a variety of questions and topics we want to cover. We will also be testing out the ZOWIE mouse fitting kits that we're really excited about. If you have any questions throughout, you can either ask them in the chat or you can type in ! Questions. Or you can check the panel. There's also information about where to ask the questions. We already got a few questions from before, so we will be answering them throughout as well. So, shall we begin?
Yeah, let's get started.
Absolutely. So, also to introduce the other people in the room, later on you're going to hear from Bradley, who is our Rainbow Six Siege player, as well as Max, who is our CSGO player. Behind the scenes, we have Chrono, who is,
treasurer.
Stream producer
and treasurer of the Esports Society.
Right, so, Pedro, first question for you. What is Northampton Esports Arena?
The arena is just basically, it's heaven for gamers, realistically. It's a space where we take part in competitions, it's a space for events, it's a space where any gamer can just come in and just play what they like. We have these amazing facilities that have been provided by yourself and the university, and we can really take advantage of them and make these teams. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you walked in to the Esports Arena?
Oh, it wasn't, this was still a classroom, I'm pretty sure. We had the room next to us, which was, it wasn't in great state. The floor was a bit knackered. There was no paint on the wall or anything like that. It was very, very rudimentary.
Yeah, I remember the first time when I was introduced to this space. So essentially, when I started working, they showed me this room and said, like, this is the Northampton Esports Arena. And I was incredibly grateful because I know not many other universities in UK have something like that. But it was a old classroom. It was an old music classroom. It had no windows, and I thought like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Like the no windows thing works for gamers. Don't get me wrong, but I thought like we're going to need to do some touching up. So the first year we spent putting up posters on the wall and things like that. So it did have a look of students, a teenager's bedroom or something like that.
We even put the LED lights like you would in the bedroom.
Yeah, so exactly like that. So you have the LEDs at the bottom, you have the game posters of not even esports, so you have like Super Mario posters and things like that. So it was very gamery, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was, It was,
but it worked. It was a space for students to socialize and play.
It did the job, and it was the first year you just got the program. We didn't even have a society at that point.
Exactly.
We didn't even have a society.
Yeah.
No.
The society started in our sort of second year, and that the second year was the official sort of first year when we
Season one,
exactly. In the previous year, before Season 1, we actually had the very first person in UK to receive a scholarship.
Julia,
Julia was the very first person in UK to receive a scholarship, and she was amazing. She's
a great player as well.
Team captain for Northampton Lions, and she did really, really great foundation work for us.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's I can't thank Julia enough. If you're watching, I really, really appreciate all the hard work that you did and how much you helped us out, to actually achieve this point where we are right now. The first time you started using the esports equipment, do you remember what it was?
It wasn't exactly the esports equipment we have now. We had basically a plastic HP keyboards, like bottom of the barrel. Like you'd go to a shop, you'd buy it for like £12.
Yeah.
Like the mouse was exactly the same. The monitors weren't terrible, but they were only 60 hertz, so it wasn't optimal for like FPS games or anything like that. You couldn't really play it. It wasn't optimal. Let's just say that.
So the monitors and all of the peripherals that we had in year one were essentially, when you buy a what's it called, corporate PC, like a workstation or something like that, and then you can add keyboard and mouse for like £1 or something like that. And we had these for almost
like office
the first
space.
year. Yeah.
It was office space equipment.
And that was the point when we realized, this isn't gonna fly. No. We need to get something much better. Absolutely. And that's when we started looking out, reaching out and looking for different brands, different esports brands, and different companies. And that was the point when I realized like the company that I really want to work with is ZOWIE. And I'm not just saying because, we're officially partnered and this event is also in partnership. It's powered by ZOWIE as well as the whole esports arena. But it was actually my top one choice before even reaching out to anyone. The main reason was when I was researching what are the best mice for FPS games, because I knew the mice would make probably most impact in FPS games. Yeah. And the game number one that I found on obviously in FPS games is essentially CSGO.
Yeah,
it's been going for 20 years. It's amazing.
Everyone thinks of CSGO immediately.
Exactly. So, and I started typing lists and searching for lists. CSGO pro players, what mice they use. And there was not even a single top 10 list that didn't have at least 2 or 3 ZOWIE mice on.
And they're doing something right.
Exactly. So. And the reason why we went with specifically ZOWIE FK2, and we'll talk about the mice a little bit later when we'll be doing the mouse fitting tests, was the fact that it's ambidextrous, so we can use it for left-handers and right-handers.
So are they all ambidextrous?
All FK2s are ambidextrous, but we'll try out some that are ergonomical as well. The reason why we had to go for ambidextrous mouses because the esports arena and the esports program is open to all students at Roehampton University. That means that last year, I think we had more than 100 members in the society.
We smashed the record. We started a society last year, and we smashed the numbers and everything. We're the biggest society on campus at the moment. So
not humble bragging at all.
I'm not saying we're the best. It's just we have the numbers to show.
The facts speak
for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the reason why we had to get it. And then we reached out to ZOWIE, and they were very kind to sponsor us as well and partner with us for now 2nd year running. And we're incredibly happy because every single time someone comes in to the esports arena, especially like prospective students, everyone goes just like, oh my God, what is this? And then the second, oh my God, what is this? Is when we try the 240 hertz monitors because they've been used to like 60 hertz at best or 30 hertz.
At home, I don't even have a 240. I just can't afford it. They're just too good.
The beauty of it is, especially I remember the first time that I really experienced 240 hertz monitors was when I think both of us were going PUBG and we went duo queue.
Oh yeah.
And that was it was a great moment because we placed second, I think, with you got 8 kills or something like that.
Crazy.
I got half a kills or something like that. I think I fired bullets into the direction of some enemies. But my favorite part of that was that it was the first time that I actually tried playing games at work, and then of course my manager decided to walk in and check.
He did walk in
because he never comes in to check on us.
He insta-tabbed out. I remember that.
It was I think second to last or 3 circles to go or something like that. I just tabbed out and was like, "Hello, just working hard. This is an Excel spreadsheet." Right. So the next thing we need to discuss is the Roehampton Esports Scholarship. So I'll tell a little bit more about this scholarship. Exactly. So the Roehampton Esports Scholarships are the first esports scholarships in UK. We also this August introduced the Roehampton Women in Esports Scholarships that are the first scholarships of its kind in the whole Europe. At the moment last year we had 9 esports scholars. This year we're planning on having up to 15 esports scholars. So it's going to be a big team. It's going to be a big team.
It's growing.
It's amazing, and the players coming in are incredibly motivated. We actually have a question from Mario O from the questioning platform that we used before. So Mario asked the question, I think, a few days ago. So how did you implement esports at the university? Is that an independent module or a part of a certain course? The answer is it's completely independent. So you can do a variety of courses and degrees that you want. So you don't have to focus on esports. So we have students who are doing business management, who are doing digital media, marketing, and things like that. My favorite part is we have a League of Legends scholar who is starting this year, who is doing a degree in zoology.
Oh, zoology,
really? Zoology.
I know Julia was in law, wasn't she?
Julia was in law, exactly. So the beauty of it is, and the way we're thinking is that students who are coming into esports and want to get a degree, they will benefit, really properly benefit from the esports scholarship because they can use it as passion and they still have, the...
Yeah, and when you're playing games, sometimes it can feel like, oh, well, I am wasting a little bit of time. But with these scholarships, they are just bringing these people in and, really saying, like, you can do this, play games, play competitive, and still be productive.
Exactly, yeah. So it's been an amazing journey so far with the scholarships. The next question we need to cover is events. So this space is amazing for training, practicing, and getting into esports. But events is one thing that we're really happy to host here. What was your favorite event from last year?
Oh, from last year we had when ZOWIE came in, actually, that was a great event. They came in and we did a 1v1 CSGO tournament. They even gave us one of the things to keep for a prize. That was great. But we had like a League 1v1 tournament. That was fantastic as well. We put the tables pinned up against each other and it really looked like 1v1 and everyone got that feeling. It was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Probably the most exciting event, because it was the most informative and most official event we had, was when ZOWIE rep Edvinas, and thank you so much, Edvinas, for all the support, came over and showed us all the variety of ZOWIE mouse pads and things like that. Because as I mentioned, like, we use FK2 in the arena, and we also use the GSAR mousepad. It was really nice to test out different ones, and I know both you and me were properly invested with the Divina series. Yeah, both the blue and the pink ones.
They looked amazing. I love that he showed us the settings on the monitor. I think that was great, because I had no idea that there's like the black the shadows and for the CS:GO and how they really brought out the players and the monitors. I found that really interesting.
It's absolutely amazing. So one more thing that I'm really excited about, sort of when it comes to sort of events, and it's more of a daily event. We're gonna start doing live streams from the esports arena and the competitions. And what we're trying to do is we're really trying to up it up a notch. So last year we just had shoutcasting table here and all the players in here. That was great. It worked. It was season 1. Season 2, we are moving the shoutcasting station to a completely different room, so it's sound isolated, and you actually the problem was when League of Legends
players,
we had League of Legends players playing the game. And we're shoutcasting, like Pedro shoutcasting, he's excited, it's a tense moment, are we gonna win, are we gonna lose? And the players in the background just walk up and start, being sad and things like that, because the 3-minute delay. So.
They lost, or when they start screaming and they'd won, and then I'd have to be like, I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So this year we're moving everything away, and we actually have webcams on all of the 6 PCs in the esports arena. So we're trying to aim for like proper, CSGO tournaments of someone makes a clutch play or something like that, boom, we zoom into their in their face, or replays and things like that. So it's a very complicated system we have in mind, because we're trying to do everything on the cheap, to save the dosh, save the money.
It's very like, especially for you're trying to run all of it, and it's quite difficult. I'm trying to help out, but we need the staff members.
Yeah. What would you say was your favorite moment from season 1?
Season 1, we made it to the NSC finals of the League of Legends when we went up to Nottingham. That was really great. The team was super excited, and it was a journey to get to those finals. That was amazing. We had people like Alex was losing his mind, going like celebrating, crying. It was really emotional, and I think it really brought like another aspect to their lives. I really enjoyed that moment.
Yeah, I feel like it's the highlight for us as well, and that's where the name for this event came from Zero to Hero.
Exactly.
When we started in that September, so essentially the tournament started in October, the team started playing in late September, and the finals were winter finals for NSC. Thank you. Took me a while. Happened in December, so we went from not having a society, not having a team, to finals. So literally from 0 to hero.
A bit of heroes, yes.
I mean, we're not going to talk about the finals.
We don't need to talk about the final. We just made it there.
Yeah, exactly. We got the opportunity to take photos, take videos, and it's a great promotional material.
They're plastered all over the walls. So
exactly. We're on NSC's video, so thank you, NSC, for allowing us. And we made the games quick. Well, the other team made the games quick for us. So, right. Now, my favorite questions.
Let's move on.
These essentially questions are designed to make me feel old. So,
okay.
2 questions. Do you remember your first FPS game?
First FPS game? I'm gonna have to say CS:GO. I think it was the first game that I got into. No, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's as well. It's CS:GO.
CS:GO, yeah.
It has to be 1.6. I think I started playing games sort of at that time when CS:GO was in its peak time. I still remember. Obviously, I was 8 or something like that when I was playing CS:GO, and I remember it wasn't for me, like, it wasn't competitive games or anything that. I loved the servers where you had magic and all of these kind of things. It was like superhero level teleports and things like that. It was proper fun. Now, the other question to make me feel old: do you remember your first monitor and your first mouse?
My first monitor, I didn't necessarily have a monitor. I had this really old piece, like laptop, and it was like an old HP laptop. I don't remember the make, but it basically didn't run anything. It was just like no frames at all or anything like that. But at that time, I loved it. It was great. I was playing, I was having the time of my life. But if I look at it back now and I was playing on that, I can't do it now. I just can't.
I'm guessing it's one of those laptops that is designed to play Solitaire and Minesweeper.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So for me, the very first monitor, obviously can't remember the make of it, but it was the good old CRT, the proper fat bottom monitors.
Oh, they're great.
That, like, if you drop the monitor, like it would fall down through your floor into neighbors, and that's it. And my first, the first mouse I ever used was, and it wasn't just like, oh, I used it because because we just had that from a long time ago. It's just the only thing you could buy in Lithuania at that time.
Was it the ball one?
The ball one, yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
had to take out the ball from time to time and just
Wash
clean
it.
it. Exactly. It was amazing.
That's great.
It was really, really great memories. So,
That's
right,
fantastic.
now, let's go into the mouse fitting test, shall we?
Oh, right, yes.
Right, Chrono, if you could do the honors and switch the scenes for us, that would be great.
Yes, should I grab this? Let me grab this chair.
Yes, Peter's going to take a seat.
Oh, you know, actually,
Chrono, can you do a favor?
Can I
Can you
show
turn the
off?
monitor a little bit so I can actually see things? Amazing. So, right, I'm going to show you the ZOWIE monitors that we have in here. Oh, I just saw the viewer numbers. It's
What is that?
27.
Oh,
Oh, we're famous.
All right,
We made it.
Keep
We
it
made
calm,
it.
keep calm, keep calm.
Okay. Whew. If anyone from CSGO Pro team need casters or hosts,
That's me,
know where to find us.
you know.
Right, ZOWIE mouse fitting kit. It's an amazing box.
It,
Do you know what's inside?
It looks sweet. I've taken a quick
Yeah,
peek.
we played around
Yeah,
quite a few times with
yes.
it. So, I mean, it does what it says on the box. So we have a selection of ZOWIE mouse. So let me just get it a little bit closer to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
We are very fancy. We have double camera setup.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's a selection of both ergonomic and symmetrical ambidextrous mice.
Yeah.
Pedro, you're going to have the honors of, first of all, taking out the commodity 2, which is the mouse cable management device.
Yeah, let me grab that.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
So we're going to set it up
Very
as
neat.
well. And I want you to pick 2 mice out of
2?
this whole list.
Okay, let me put that there. For myself, I will go for the S2 series.
Right.
Small, don't need that. My hand's not that big. And I will also grab the ZA12.
ZA12, that's
Why
a
not?
grand choice. Right, so we're gonna
Pretty
put this
sweet.
down. Now, Peter's gonna take a seat to actually properly experience,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, what it is to test out a mice. We're gonna do the cables, and we're gonna use the.
Should we use these?
Yeah.
Oh, this thing. I don't actually know. How'd you put it through?
Oh,
You're the expert here.
am I?
I've actually never
Right.
used one of
So you need to make sure that the wire isn't dragging. So
Right.
it's floating, but it's never also stopping you
Oh,
from
wow.
actually
these.
using
Oh,
it.
wow, look at that. That's great.
Huh?
This is the the S2, right?
So you have the labels in here. So
Oh,
you
the,
have
the
S2 exactly.
yes. Okay, the S2. It's a good feel. I'm a palm gripper myself.
Yeah. Oh.
So I don't, do this thing, which
Yeah.
DFK, I know the ones in the gaming room, they're really good if you're,
Yeah.
what's it called, the tip?
Claw grip.
Oh, claw grip, that's
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I'm a palm grip, so I really like to feel the mouse and really get it going. I like this, it's great. I probably would have chosen a bigger one if I
Okay.
know, but that's why we have the
That's why I
kit.
have the, yes, exactly.
That's why I have the kit, so I'll probably grab the, this is the S, I'll probably grab the M for the S2 series,
Right.
personally.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it for this one.
Okay, so now the mouse we have is ZA12-B.
ZA12, that
Right.
sounds fancy.
Let's do
Let's
an actual
grab this one.
comparison. So if
Right.
if the viewers look at them,
You see, this one's more.
Yep.
It's got slightly. It's like a mountain.
it
it's
might
like a
actually
hill.
work for you because
This
you're
one's-
a
Yeah,
palm
I
gripper,
did say
aren't you?
yeah. So I think this is
One
a
of-
palm gripper mouse.
You're
Oh
one of
yeah.
those.
Oh,
So what's the difference?
Oh.
What do you feel?
it's the palm grip definitely. It's just it comes out more, and I could feel it.
Yeah.
I could feel it just clutching my palm. It's
Yeah.
really comfortable. Well, as that I have to kind of like move in closer to the mouse.
Right.
So this is ultimate comfort for me.
Right.
I'd have to go with this one. This is just.
Keep in
better.
mind that the mouse mat that we're using is the ZOWIE GSR. Yeah. What are the chances that tomorrow, when I walk into the Esports arena, your PC, your station is going to have this mouse, and
Is-
all of a sudden we're
is-
going to have 2 FK2s in
It
here?
is highly likely.
Highly likely. There we go. Right. Thanks so much, Pedro. It was
worries.
a pleasure. What we're going to do now is going to go into a quick video, and after that, we'll go back and speak to Bradley, also known as Peak.
Bye.
Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge and show your finest. bring your best out. Strive for perfection. It's our goal too.
Hello, you missed us? I'm sure you did. It's impossible you haven't. So now we have Bradley with us, and I just realized Bradley has the ZOWIE mouse fitting kit that I had my laptop on, and everything's very, very low right now. So I'm gonna try and remember all of the questions if I can. Right, Bradley, introduce yourself.
So I'm Bradley, also known as Peak. I play Rainbow Six Siege for the university and for the season 1 of last year. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, what are you studying?
I study psychology here at Roehampton and I'm in my 2nd year.
Yeah, how's it going so far?
Going pretty well, all things considered.
Fair enough. What is your main game?
My main game would be Rainbow Six Siege, especially when it comes to competitive play. When it comes to more content related, I tend to go with slightly more creative games, and I am a lover for the nostalgia of Minecraft.
You do love Minecraft. You love building things out of Minecraft, don't you?
I do.
You did build your accommodation, haven't you? You
Yeah,
started at least.
I got really bored one day, and I had a lot of time on my hands, so I thought,
As a
why not,
student, yeah,
and
yeah,
make it a 24-hour live stream, which happened all too often.
Exactly, yes. I feel like every other week or so, especially like during the lockdown, it's just like I see chat messages or like the Twitter and Brad going just like, I'm bored, 24-hour stream, let's go. And it's just like, sure, absolutely. What are we building this time? Let's have a look.
It was always good fun.
Yeah. So what would you say, do you remember your first FPS game ever?
Well, I never really played FPS games that much at all. So I jumped straight to the deep end with Siege. I was never a CSGO prodigy. I never played any of the game like that because I used to have a very small laptop.
Yeah.
Which didn't run much because I travelled quite a bit. I never really lived within the UK.
Yeah.
So I had a small little laptop that I used to go everywhere with me. So I used to always play Skyblock Minecraft because it couldn't have a normal world because it couldn't run it. So, and then when I built my PC for the first time, my friend was like, you got to try out this game. It's great. And yeah, I just fell in love with Siege from day one.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I just realized when we were sort of prepping for everything and we were doing all the discussions I realized that, well, the very first game that I actually enjoyed and played, when I can say I mained the first game as a, I don't know, 12-year-old or something like that, was CSGO. But probably like the most vivid first video game memory besides actually getting internet. That was an amazing day. I still remember, I kid you not, I remember how that guy looked who came into and installed internet in our house. It was an amazing day. The very first game I remember playing was the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Yeah, it's an amazing. I'm not sure if it's an amazing game. It's a nostalgic game for me, so it's an amazing game for me. But I really enjoyed it, and that was sort of those two games that were the games that I fell in love with FPS. And then for some reason I developed motion sickness and couldn't play games anymore. Joy oh joy! And then I moved to League, and that was a great experience. I still hate the friends who showed me League of Legends. I'm not gonna lie, and they know it. They definitely know it. So. This Esports Arena. So you mentioned you started playing games on a crappier laptop. I'm sure you upgraded in between and things like that. But what was your first impression when you came to Roehampton Esports Arena?
Well, to be fair, I'd never really tried any kind of good equipment. Well, I say that, but when I first built my PC, I had a 60 Hz monitor when I started playing Siege. I wasn't the best player, and I slowly progressed over the years. And because I didn't have the equipment, I decided to go as a coach, which, as you know, which is what I applied for when I came here. And so I applied to the scholarship program as a coach because I was like, I'll never be able to, make it there. But after trying like the monitors and the equipment we have here, moving from 60 Hz to 40, it rapidly ups your game, and it just makes you a better player overall.
Absolutely, it really does. What about the rest of the setup? The PCs, just the fact that you're in the esports arena, like a competitive mindset in here. Does that change anything for you?
Well, yeah, especially when it's when it comes down to having all your teammates in the same room. It's very different, and it's something we struggled with a lot in the beginning. Especially when we were doing everything over Discord, doing the games from home. It got to the point where communication wasn't there. Certain things weren't there. So we said, screw it, and we did one practice session in here, and we never went back because it's the atmosphere. It's having your teammates over your shoulder. It's, for example, with Siege, you have cameras quite a bit, and I cannot count the amount of rounds that we won just by pure coincidence of, oh, stick on that camera because I can just turn my head 5 degrees and see it. And it just helps so much. And it's a great atmosphere to be in. I
absolutely love, I still remember very vividly the first time I came in to see your practice sessions. It was a lot of loud words, loud and calm words, very strategic, very planning, not chaotic at all. I was sure we're gonna get some noise complaints, but we didn't. It all worked out in the end, so it all was fine. Can you walk us through so you have experience in other sort of tournaments or like shoutcasting other tournaments and things like that. How would they compare to UK university scene?
Well, basically, I've been playing comp ever since my second month of Siege. So I was in it from day one. I was always a very competitive child, doing a lot of sports. But then moving abroad a lot, after getting quite a few injuries, I decided to move to esports quite a bit. So, we don't have a lot of time at university, I'm sure, with lectures, with work, and having a normal schedule with a team, it would be you're practicing 6 days a week. You've got scrims, you've got games, you've got VOD review, you've got strats. But at university, it's harder because we have 2 days a week where we were in here, and we had 1 day a week when we were at home doing strats, going over VODs. And so we had a lot less time, but we made it work.
Yeah. I guess another thing that is really tricky with university esports scene is that we have the facilities we have. Let's not kid ourselves. They're semi-pro/pro level.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm 100% sure if any pro team came into the esports arena, even any top 20, top 50 CSGO teams from HLTV came in and did a scrim session in here or a boot camp, which you can do, by the way. We have accommodation on campus. Hey, little plug for them. They would feel at home. Like the internet is amazing because UK universities get amazing internet as well. It's on a separate network, so students watching Netflix is not gonna affect this. And Netflix traffic right now is massive compared to previous years. So I'm sure all of the professionals would feel at home. And I just remembered the point that I was talking about. Got too excited about Netflix. The fact that we have to rebuild teams each year isn't great, is it? Because last year you had a team that you were really confident with. If you still had this team this year, I'm sure top 4, top 2, or even top 1, in Neil would be plausible. But because how many students left?
We had 1 graduate in his 3rd year, then 2 because of coronavirus reasons, and now so it kind of ended up with me being with 1 other player from last year. And Siege, with us being a small university, it's not like other universities where you'll have 4 or 5 teams in NSE. And here we don't have that privilege. Because esports, it's still very not fully accepted in this society and culture. So you don't have people being like, oh, you have this program, I'm going to jump straight into it. It's always some kind of hesitation. And so we just don't have a bigger pool of students to choose from here.
Another thing is that Roehampton, it's a great university. Absolutely love it because I've been here for 9 years almost. It's gonna be next summer. It's gonna be 10 years since I joined Roehampton as a student, and I loved every single second of it. But the problem is that we only have 10,000 students, only 10,000. Compared to other universities, especially in London, it's not a lot. And the courses that we're most known for is primary education and dance, essentially. These. Let's be real. These aren't the courses that attract all the esports stars and things like that. Because you have other universities who have video game design courses and things like that. You have other universities who have a lot more specific courses for these kind of things. So we work with what we have, and I feel like the talent that we have here is great. But with the esports program, we absolutely take it to the next level, and we can offer them a lot more. So we spoke a little bit about your practice. Can you walk us through a normal practice day?
Okay, so a usual practice day for us would be we'd all get to the arena around 3 or 4 p.m. Usually with a few late arrivals on most days, because it was usually the same person as always. And so what we do is we'd sit down and we'd just have a talk. We'd have a talk about the last play day we played, kind of what maps we played, how we went wrong, what we could have done better. Just a normal talk about what we could have done. Then if we needed to, go over strats, go over our strat book, and then we'd go into a scrim for 2 hours, and then we'd have games.
How was scrimming, and how would you say is the Newell/NSC tournament level compared to what you used to casting and things like that?
I mean, Newell and NSC is it's unpredictable is the way I could say it, because some teams you'd have a full diamond stack or a full plat stack, and other teams you'd have a player no higher than silver. So some days were slower than others, and some days we'd play for 5 hours straight. And it's unpredictable. You never know who you're playing. And with if you're a team in a league, you'll know oh, I know what team I'm playing against in 3 weeks and 2 weeks. So you know the whole league before you start. Whereas in University Siege, you've got I have no idea who I'm playing until 15 minutes before we start. So that leaves an element of esports out for us to prep. And for me, especially for Siege, which is very heavily reliant on strategies, it's it's hard,
Yeah.
to say the least.
You get to know more about the teams when you sort of reach top 16. But at the
Yeah.
same time, when you reach top 16, you know that, okay, we'll be playing, let's say, Manchester University. That might not mean nothing, because if the team doesn't have any, they haven't streamed, they don't have any VODs, or you can't find any VODs, like, you know who you're playing, but you have no idea what they do and how they play and things like that. And if we're streaming all of our games, then we're slightly at a disadvantage, but ever so slightly, but we still know that we can do really great things with our teams. Now, the last thing I want to ask you is your famous strat book. Tell us about it. What is it, and why have I heard so many different stories about it?
It was something I've always kind of done with every team I've kind of been with. It's going over every map, every kind of bomb site. We would have 2 or 3 different strats for every bomb site, and that's why we do scrims. It would be, it would come from my idea, how all strats should come from a teammate being like, we could hold this differently, we could attack this differently. What if we did this? What if we did that? And it's the what ifs that create the niche ideas that can win you rounds that are so unexpected. And it got round a bit last year because I was trying to help another team because they were like, oh, like you held this well. How did you do it? And I was like, oh, we have this strat book. Like, so here we go off. He was like, oh, I don't know how they look. And I was like, okay, you know what? We never play this map. Have a look. And then next season, funny enough, it was our best map. And they tried to reverse it. And it just didn't work.
You can't out-genius a genius. It's impossible. Right. Thanks so much for this, Bradley. We're going to go into the mouse fitting kit test thingy-bajingy. There was one thing that apparently I did wrong because I was looking at the screen and trying to make it look for good for the viewers. What did I do wrong before?
The mouse bungee. It was, especially in chat, I'm sure a lot of you were talking in chat about this. The mouse bungee was the wrong way around.
I'm cringing inside. I am really,
It was painful to watch.
My excuse is I was looking at the monitor that we have, and I tried to make it look good in front of the camera, and I realized, like, that's not the whole point of it. And I kept looking at Bradley, and like, I could see him going, like, just like painfully inside, but that's it. Open up the mouse fitting kit and let me know which 2 mice you want to test out.
Let's have a look, shall we? Okay. So I'm going to have a seat. Okay.
Right.
So for me, it's, well, I'm quite tall. And I have quite big hands. So I'm going to go with some of the larger mice. Because it's, for me especially, it's kind of hard to choose. So I'm going to go for the EC1.
EC1, yeah.
Because it's got that thicker grip, or thicker base. And then I'm going to try... I'm going to go with the FK1.
Ooh.
FK1 Plus.
Similar to what we have in the arena, just a bit chunkier, a bit bigger.
Just a bit chunkier. So first, I'm just going to start with the EC1.
EC1,
so let's have a look with the mouse bungee the right way around this time.
The one thing to know about the EC1, it's an ergonomical mouse, so it's only for right-handers. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put it in here. For me especially, I always use a mouse bungee. Because with Siege, I will use the entire trackpad, and sometimes some mouse pads are not big enough.
Yeah, I need to get one as well, because as I remember the good old days when I was still playing PUBG, the PUBG spray control is very simple. You just drag down until the table ends, and the times that I still had some table space, but my mouse would just drag on something. It's ridiculous. Right, go ahead.
So so it's got a great feel, especially at the base, because I'm more of a palm grip. And for the FK2, it's a great mouse. But for hands as big as mine, it's you have to small it down a little. So with the base there for a palm grip for me, it moves really well. And yeah, you can see also the mouse bungee doing its magic.
It is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And
what do you know?
It's just so I don't catch on anything if I'm playing games. So in Siege, I'll do a lot of that.
Right.
So it's nice that it moves so smoothly on these mouse mats as well. And it's got a really good feel to it.
Yeah.
Especially with the buttons on the side being just that little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Just makes it a hell of a lot easier for me.
I guess the good thing as well is if you are specifically, you can swap the mouse while I do the talking. When you're buying a mouse specifically for yourself and you know that you will be the person using it, you don't need to really get a symmetrical mouse. You can go for ergonomical one. Like I tried all of them for quite a few hours, embarrassingly long time, and I would still go for FK2. I'm not gonna lie, it's still my favorite mouse. I might be slightly biased because I need to keep up the good name of FK2 here, because apparently everyone has large hands in Roehampton. I don't know what's that about. Don't know what that says about our students, but it's really great. Let's take this thingy-bajing off.
So Actually, so in the game arena, we just have a smaller version of the FK2s, like you said. So this is the FK1 Plus.
Yep.
It doesn't have buttons on this side, but it does have them on the left side. So for your thumb, if you're left-handed, I'm sure it's not a problem. The FK2 has buttons on both sides.
Yep. And FK1 Plus is the XL
Yeah.
size.
So it's the XL size, so it's people with larger hands. But yeah, it's a lot nicer for me, especially than the FK2, even though it's the same model.
Yep.
But it's just nicer again to have that larger base, to have that bigger feel, and it's just a lot more comfortable for me.
Yeah. Fair
So yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Bradley. It was really interesting to hear about your story with CSGO, your story with Stratbook and everything like that. We're going to go into a quick pause. We're going to go and show you another quick video from ZOWIE. We're going to be back with Max, our CSGO player.
I started playing Counter-Strike in 1999. That was just pure fun. It wasn't an official game yet. My first tournament was in 2002, played it with my sister in the team. So it's crazy that I've been doing that for 20 years till now, and it still gives me so much fun. Back in the days, we used to play on the CRT monitors. I don't think there's many gamers out there from the young generation that's ever used it. Even though they were very bulky, heavy and big, the feeling of playing them was just amazing. They gave you a really good response of what you wanted to do in the game. They felt very natural. Colors were good. Just gave you a lot of fun playing the game. CRT monitors were with me through many happy memories. Talking about the CRT monitors reminds me of the old days, how it was different than now. We haven't had that many tournaments, players. It was more passion and just fun. We drove to Spain from Poland through whole Europe with 20-kilogram monitors just to play the game and try competing with other players. After a couple of years, we got forced to switch to the LCD screens. Even though the technology was newer, the screens were thinner and lighter, the feeling of the game wasn't as great. The colors were not nice, it was blurry, and the response was just slower. So the problem was every tournament had been using different brands of the monitors, and you either had bad colors, blurry screen, or just bad response time. It was hard to adapt at the time. By now, CS has been around for around 10 years. And not only the sponsors were becoming less and less interested, players were still being forced to use the same technology. I feel players should not have to adapt to equipment. The equipment should be designed with players' habits in mind. Right after the first try of the XL monitor, I could tell that it was specifically made for Counter-Strike. I got the impression that it's designed for players. All the adjustments of height, great colors and response time. You could feel that it's just been designed for gamers. So at the time I was talking to most of them, and I could feel that everyone is just satisfied with all the features and felt that's finally a product designed for them. The XL monitor has been released in 2010. That was the first monitor designed for CS. A lot of players started using it from that time, and they even kept asking tournament organizers to have those monitors at their tournaments because it just felt great. I think from that moment it redefined the standards, and tournament organizers realized how important it is the right equipment for players. Nowadays you'll not find a tournament that's using monitors which are not comfortable for players and that could hurt their performance, which means XL Series redefined the standards of monitors for CS tournaments. That elevates players to their best level, which also makes it more enjoyable to watch.
Hello. Hello, who's there? This is Max. Hello, Max. How are you?
I'm doing very well, yeah.
Yeah, have you been very bored waiting for your turn to go and speak, or you were sort of having fun and enjoying and stressing out about what you're going to have to say?
No, it's great. Just having fun and chat.
Nice,
talk
of course.
to a few people.
There's nothing better than Twitch chat, isn't it? It's a unique experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
some said there's nothing better. Yeah.
Well, here we go. So, right, can you introduce yourself? Who you are, what you do, and what do you study?
I'm Max Kwan. My in-game name is Toasted Wiener, and I play CS:GO and Dota 2.
Yeah. Max is one of my favorite students to mention during all the important meetings when I go to, and I say like, oh, so what are the students and who do you have playing for you and things like that? And I go, oh, Max is our amazing player. He plays both CS:GO and Dota 2 at both amazing levels, and he is also known as Toasted Wiener. I'm gonna do a good 5-second pause and then continue talking about whatever else I'm talking about. It's absolutely amazing. So when did you start playing games? Can you remember the very first FPS game that you played?
Probably Halo 3 on the Xbox 360
Okay,
a while ago.
okay.
That was the first one. And then a bit of Black Ops, but now I'm onto CS:GO mainly.
But you were a console player. How was the switch from console to PC? I mean, I'm sure it was long time ago, but
It's very different. PC's a lot harder, I think. There's a higher skill ceiling than any console game, so that's why I prefer it. But it was pretty natural. Once you get to a certain level on console, you switch over to PC.
Yeah. So what is, you just mentioned that CSGO is your main game right now. What is that brings you to CSGO? What keeps you, engaged with CSGO?
I love CS:GO. It's got such a nuance and depth to it that lots of other games don't have, and a real simplicity as well compared to a lot of the other FPSs out there. It's all about just really good strategy and good mechanical skill as well.
Yeah, there's, as you mentioned, the reason why I personally love CS:GO. It's pro scene. Pro scene is great. Like I really like PUBG pro scene. I love League of Legends pro scene and things like that. But like there is something about the game itself, casters, the crowds, the chat, everything in CS:GO that just keeps me wanting to come back to watching CS:GO professionally. Do you remember? Sorry, what's your favorite moment from CS:GO competitions last year when we were playing in Newland NSE?
We had lots of great games. But the best moment was a moment kind of reminiscent of Cold Zero in 2016. Some jumping headshot in a 1v1 clutch. It was a great moment and everyone went wild in the arena. It was really good. Yeah,
if you have your phone, don't turn on any new tabs. Just take your phone out, go to Instagram, go to Roehampton Esports. There is a video of that play in there amongst our highlights. It's an amazing play, and you don't see the play, but you don't need to see the play. Just the player's reaction just says it all. Everyone just goes mind-bogglingly crazy, starts jumping around and things like that. So what would you say it was the play happened during one of the Newell and NSC games that our teams competed in. So our team for CSGO is Roehampton Hydras. The team, for Rainbow Six is Roehampton Badgers, and our League of Legends Origin team, the team that went to NSC finals, is called Roehampton Origins. I think I said all of that correctly. How did Roehampton Hydras do in Newell and NSC competitions, and what would you say is the skill level there?
Well, we did pretty well last year. We put our team together kind of last minute, so we didn't have a lot of time to practice. But in the spring tournament, we came, I think, in the top 30 out of the over 100 teams that competed there. So we were pretty happy with that, and we nearly made the playoffs, but we couldn't quite make it. Yeah,
I remember it was very close with a few of our teams. And Overwatch, Rainbow Six, and CS:GO teams. A lot of the teams were really close to sort of making the playoffs. And I personally was really, really happy and proud of the CS:GO team, because as Max mentioned, we put it together at the very last second. When I say last second, it's not just we put it last second with a week to... No. It was just night before and minutes before the closing deadline. What would you say was the hardest part with the team? Was it just, the lack of previous experience playing together, communication? What was it?
I think if we'd had some more time just to make our map pool a bit bigger and work on our strat book a bit more in depth, we would have been a lot better, because we played some maps we hadn't practiced before. We got some wins on them. I think also if we had maybe had some more defined roles, but all that comes with time and practice. So
exactly, there's a reason why when you look at the teams that usually rank really high in university scenes on Newell and NSC, the teams have been together for a really long time, where they have players, just 2 players leaving and the rest of the team start staying together, and they bring in new talent and things like that. So I'm sure we'll get there. It's gonna take us a while, because as we mentioned, our society is just season 2, so essentially just one proper year that we had, and there's other societies like Frag Society that have been going for many, many years. So there's no way we can compete in that. We can compete in better monitors.
Yeah, for sure.
So can you walk us through your practice session for CSGO?
Well, normally for CSGO, we would come in and we would do about maybe an hour's worth of just offline map work. So practicing throwing our nades and doing dry runs of all our executes and all of our standard setups on the maps we were working on. And then we would go into kind of some scrims, some more we do scrims or maybe some face-its just to get everyone gelling in the server and working on our kind of mechanical skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Our team captain last year, Matti, he's an amazing face-it level 10 player. He's coming back to us next September. So what we'll do is we'll build him a very strong team this year.
For sure,
and next year he is gonna come back. And he's gonna have an amazing team, and we're gonna we're gonna smash NSC and Newell. We're gonna be the winners of it. So what would you say is your favorite CSGO map and why?
It's changed a bit, but I think right now Nuke is my favorite map.
No, don't say that. I hate that map. Right, why Nuke?
Well, you've seen actually a lot of people, like a lot of pros actually had the same reaction as you when the map was kind of first changed.
Yeah.
But I think it's being played more and more and is now maybe the most played map in the competitive scene.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you can really, by putting work in like outside of the server, you can really abuse rotations and really win games basically without having to out-frag anyone just by pure like kind of tactical prowess or whatever.
You can win the game before you essentially even enter the game by strats, by knowledge, by smokes and things like that. You see, the reason why I absolutely hate Nuke is because, as I mentioned, like I really have really bad motion sickness. So whenever there's lots of angles need to check and things like that, and if I don't know the map, so like that's the reason why I hate Nuke and Vertigo is because I don't know the maps. I do have to do a lot of looking around. I probably could get used to it in like 2, 3, 4 hours or something like that, but there's just something nice about hating Nuke, and I don't know why. So the next question is, what is the map that you dislike the most, or even, dare I say, hate the most? You know my answer. My answer is Nuke, and my favorite map is Inferno. I know a lot of people don't like Inferno because they've seen it for many, many years, but it's it's a classical map. It's the same thing as, Dust 2. You can't hate on Dust 2, it's classical, but... So, what's the map that you dislike the most?
Well, my least favorite map is actually Dust 2.
Oh, God!
I just think that map is a little bit stale right now. There are only so many strategies you can run. It's kind of been figured out.
That's true.
So teams aren't really doing anything new on it, and it just becomes kind of an aim map after a while, which kind of isn't my favorite thing about CSGO.
I guess it's the age that shows it for me. I still have the nostalgic memories of playing Dust 2 in the good old days. What would do you remember what was the first map you ever played?
Probably Inferno, I would say.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of Inferno. That's a great map for sure.
Yeah. So for me, the first 2 maps was either the original Dust, not Dust 2, but the original Dust, which was amazing. I absolutely loved that map. Or it was, I can't remember. It wasn't the Fusel map. It was one of the really small maps with a pool in the middle and the changing rooms or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a great map. And probably that's the reason why I got motion sickness, because there's lots of looking around all of the time. So when you're playing CSGO, what do you prefer? Really high sensitivity, so flickering, doing flicks and things like that, or you're more of a moving your mouse around the whole mouse pad?
I think as I've got better at CS, I've moved from more of like a high sensitivity to I've slowly lowered it as I've gone on, just because you get more accuracy when you use a lower sensitivity. It's easier just to tap on heads.
Absolutely. I get to see a lot of people playing FPS games in the esports arena, and a lot of the time what happens is some players, you can see they literally just move the mouse a much, and that's it. Like the screen just goes completely 180 or almost 360, and I'll never understand it. Like, if you can play a game of CSGO with a sensitivity like that, all powers to you, congratulations. I will never understand, and I will never approve of that. I'm sorry. Do you ever play with stretch resolutions in CSGO, or are you just sticking to classic, what you see is what you get?
I experimented last year on the new monitors because I don't have a monitor which stretch resolution works on at home. So when I came in, I experimented with some of the stretch resolutions, and I enjoyed them actually quite a lot.
Nice. You see, for me, because I tend to do a lot of content, or at least I think I do a lot of content. I used to do a lot of content, let's put it that way. I always had to play with, normal resolutions,
It looks a lot better.
Exactly. And you want to make sure that it was, because I wasn't a good player. I wasn't going to be making frag movies or anything like that, so I had to go for the, funny moments and content like that. When looking at CSGO and the professional scene, do you have your favorite team?
I have a couple of teams which I support in CS. OG, they're a newly formed team, and I followed them over from Dota.
Right.
And they're a great up-and-coming team with a British player as well, which is something you don't get much in CS, so I enjoy that. Yeah. Also, you can't help but love Astralis because they've reinvented the game and they're just the best at it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have a favorite player?
Either Mantu, who's the British AWPer for OG, or Zipex, who's now taken a back seat, actually, but he was great when he was at the height of his power.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, my favorite team it's going to be a very boring answer. I'm going to go with Fnatic just because it's an OG brand. I remember the first time I went to watch a live event of CSGO, they were playing, and it was an amazing game. I can't remember how many hours upon hours of delays. It was a great game when it started, but the delays were horrible. And my favorite player has to be Bimas from Esports right now, just because he's Lithuanian. Like, I have to, it's a similar thing. Like, you have to support, people from. I was gonna say that you grew up playing with, but Bimas was definitely not playing in the same servers that I was playing.
Yeah, a very young player.
Yeah, as well as that, exactly. Are you calling me old?
No, but Bimas is younger than me, maybe even.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, how important is gear for you? Because we discussed, mouse, monitors, and things like that. So, how important is going from 60 Hz to 240? Because you also mentioned you play Dota a lot, aren't you? What's your rank at Dota?
I'm Immortal/Divine 5 right now.
Here we go. So that doesn't really say much to me, but I'm sure all the Dota players who are watching know that it's a rather impressive rank. So what would you say is going from 60 Hz to 240 Hz in CSGO and in Dota What's the difference between those?
I think in CSGO it actually has quite a big impact. There have been lots of videos showing these impacts as well. Like, for example, if you're AWP in mid doors on Dust 2, there's a real difference between where you see the player and where you need to hit them. When you switch up to higher hertz. In Dota, less so, but I think still definitely important. There are lots of kind of reaction time spells you've got to be dodging, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my last question for you would be, do you remember what was your first monitor and your first mouse?
Well, I used to play on a laptop a long time ago, but now I have an ultra-wide monitor, an LG ultra-wide monitor, but it's not ideal for gaming.
No. I remember playing the first time when I got my original ultra-wide monitor. It was amazing. Let's put it that way. I bought it for productivity because I was editing videos and things like that, and I thought, it's going to be amazing for that, and I'm going to enjoy games because playing CSGO, I'm going to see so much more of the map. It had the exact opposite thing. Like, I can't, to look at the mini-map, I sort of have to almost move my head around. It's just really not great. So we're going to go into mouse fitting kit right now, and actually got a note from Edvinas about what exactly the different mouse grips are and what exactly they do. Let's Max, you take a seat. We're gonna switch the scenes to mouse fitting. Chrono, there we go. So these are the mouse. Take your pick. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. So we have in here the EC series, FK series, ZA series, and S1 series. So what you need to know is ZA series. So this row right here is for claw grip. FK series, so the mouse that we have here is for palm grip. S series is sort of between two grips, and the EC is the ergonomic grip. So, what two mice would you like to test out?
I think I'm going to try the EC2, and maybe I'll try one of the claw grips because I don't normally use claw grip, but I'm interested to see how it feels.
Yeah, absolutely. You go ahead. So EC and ZA series. What size ZA series would you like? Small, medium, large?
I'm going to go for the medium.
Medium. So that's going to be ZA12. Here we go. Right, I'm gonna put my laptop back because the last thing I want to do is chuck it down on the floor. So, Max, give it a go, give it a whirl. What's the first mouse you were testing out? So the first mouse we're testing out is, there's so many mice I keep forgetting. So EC2, let me know what you think.
I actually really like the shape of this mouse, and it's weighted quite nicely. I think weight's really important with a mouse. That's what I found anyway with my current one, that I like a slightly heavier mouse.
One thing that I've noticed is with a lot of students who come in and test out this ZOWIE mouse fitting kit is a lot of them come in and say like, I don't really want to test out the mouse because it's a gaming mouse. Like how different can it be? How interesting can it be? But like once they actually try out the different grips, different sizes and things like that, they realize that it is a massive difference, and you can't really just go online and buy any mouse you want and thinking like, I read the reviews, it's going to be great for me, because everyone has different, grip styles and things like that. So
yeah, I think this one fits my hand quite nicely. And I also like how it's only got 2 buttons. I think sometimes mice overdo it with too many buttons, but I think 2 is kind of the perfect amount that I use.
Absolutely. So the other mouse is the ZOWIE 12. Give it a whirl, give it a go, and let me know what you think.
This one fits into my palm better. I can see why you say it's more of a claw grip mouse. It doesn't kind of go as far as I'm used to maybe with a mouse, but for a claw grip it's perfect. Yeah, this one's a bit lighter as well, so I'm sure people who like to be a bit more kind of, who like to flick a bit more maybe in CSGO would enjoy something more like this.
Absolutely. So keep in mind whenever you're using mice and different play styles that you use, you also need to adapt different mouse mats to your play style. We only have this one at the moment, but we are going to be getting more so people can actually test out different mouse mats and different mice itself to see what is their preferred grip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the lovely Q&A. We have a few more minutes of this video and everything's working fine, and we're going to do the transition, and Max is going to go back to his desk, and we're going to have Pedro coming back. So let's go. Yep.
Zoom.
We can do the swaps. We don't have a video prepared in the meantime because we weren't going to do the swaps, so it's a bit DIY, let's put it that way, but that's the way we like it. That's the way we rock at Roehampton. So they're both going to clean their headsets before picking them up. Pedro's going to make a lot of noise while moving the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah, he is sorry.
We back.
Right, so we have all the 4 microphones. Bradley, do a little test.
Hello.
Welcome
to the Q&A section.
Okay, that's fine. And Max, can you tell us something?
Hello.
Hello. So we can hear them. They're on the quieter side. So if you are answering questions, do speak up, please. Right. So we have a few questions. So a few of the questions were from before we started the Q&A.
Okay.
And then I'll ask the boys of Peak and Toasted Wiener, love that username,
it's Mr. Wiener actually.
Mr. Wiener to you, to have a look at any of the questions in the Twitch chat, which is always an experience.
Dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yeah. So the first question: what future perspectives for esports do you anticipate, and do you have any plans to extend this kind of program to some other studies within the university? By Mario O. So Mario, as mentioned, this isn't related to any specific course, so any student doing any variety of degrees can actually join in. So you're doing digital media?
I am, yeah.
Bradley, you are studying? Psychology, and Max?
Sports science.
Sports science from Max, exactly. So anyone and everyone can get the esports scholarship and get involved with the esports program, so we are really, really excited about that. So question by David, and I'm pretty sure I know which David from what organization and things like that. And the question is, will ZOWIE be supporting any more women tournaments? And I asked that
Did
question.
You ask that? Okay.
It's a really important topic to us as well, because we have the Roehampton Women in Esports Scholarship starting this year. So the official answer from Edwin as well, I shouldn't say the official answer, but what Edwin has mentioned to me was that they are absolutely looking forward to supporting more women in esports, but it's a bit tricky with COVID and not having any offline events.
Yeah, there's definitely some barriers in the way, but gotta power through.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other question from Josh about wireless mouse. Of course, like everyone loves wireless mouse.
This is a big one.
It is a big one, but the short answer to that, and we can't go into long, in-depth answers and everything like that, but the short answer to that question is, if you're a professional and you are playing on the stage in front of 500,000 people watching you on Twitch and things like that, the wireless mouse might work, it might not, because you're used to playing with wireless mice at home when it's the only other interference you have is your phone and your Wi-Fi router, and that's about it. If you're playing in a massive arena, there's a lot of radio frequencies, radio bands, Bluetooth devices, and things like that.
Yeah, true. Anything that can interfere with it and maybe put you at a disadvantage, you don't really want that. Just stick with the wires,
Yeah.
It's nice, it's simple.
It's
simple.
Works. It works, exactly. It's the same way. You don't need to have Bluetooth headsets if the wire works. Just bring back 3.5 mil
It's
jacks.
just personal preference,
Exactly. So, what are the future plans for the esports arena? Anything you want to implement, Pedro?
I don't know. Some. It's definitely we're gonna have loads of meetings and try to drive this arena forward. We've definitely had some barriers. We had to space out the PCs. We have different rooms now, so we want to get those rooms ready as well. Make them look as cool as these rooms, and yes, crisp, exactly. But yeah, big plans. We want to win everything and be the best at everything as well.
Bradley, what would you like to see improved in here?
Honestly,
be honest.
It's from last year especially.
having everyone just on the same row, it changes a lot more than you think.
Yeah, because at the moment
having everyone just not even if you're dotted all around the room, then communication gets a bit spotty. But if you're all across one line, you can look straight down at all of the other players.
Yeah.
And it just helps with team cohesion, I think.
Yeah. Especially if you're playing the FPS games, the one thing that you want to do after clutch play is just fist bumps left, right, and center, left, right, and center. Max, what would you improve? Anything you would change? Anything you would add?
I also agree with having people like right next to each other.
Yeah.
It definitely improves the kind of feel of the room.
Yeah.
I'd also like there to be a few more Dota players in the room as well.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that's in our hands really.
Not really. We can't really pick and plan that ahead, but what we can do is we can try and promote as much as possible the esports program in Dota forums and things like that. So there are things we can do.
All Dota players welcome.
All Dota players welcome. All the games are played. All the players welcome. It's actually very good transition to the next question is, are you looking to add any more new games into your esports program? So yes, the answer is simple. We operate on a very simple principle of if it's a solo game and you can play it, go and play it. If you are playing a team game and you can build a team, we will 100%
I'll support you personally. I'll do anything in my power to give you the opportunity, like the room, practice sessions, coaches. If you have an idea, if you have a team, please bring it up, and we'll do our best.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any questions from Twitch chat?
Oh no, not Twitch chat.
Any decent questions that we can actually answer?
I think it's just shade being thrown around.
It's just shade. Okay,
there's a lot of shade.
Classic Twitch. What can we say?
Max, have you found any questions?
They're only the ones that have been submitted on the.
Yeah. So in that case, let's not go for dodgy Twitch questions. We still have a few questions prepared. I know I saw one question asking like, I am a Roehampton student. How do I join this program, the teams and things like that? Because I haven't seen anything. There's two very simple options. Either you go to Twitter, and we're at twitter.com esportsrow. We couldn't have Roehampton Esports because there's too many letters. And Row Esports doesn't work as well because you have ROE Esports. There's two E's next to each other.
Yeah,
it just
it's
doesn't
never
really
gonna
work. Yeah. So Twitch Esports Row. And then you can also find us on
Instagram?
our brand new website as well.
Our
Instagram.
website.
So let's do Instagram.
Do the
first.
social media handles first. And then
so Instagram, Roehampton Esports. That's easy.
It's
that's
pretty
very memorable.
straightforward, that one.
We're getting a LinkedIn at some point.
We are.
We are getting. Yeah.
We are getting a LinkedIn.
We are getting a LinkedIn. It's all planned and mutually agreed decision.
Of course. Yeah. No. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to be as professional as possible and to create a sort of mini organization kind of feeling in here, not just an esports society.
You're right.
And then the most exciting thing is Facebook. No, I'm joking. Facebook. We still have Facebook, Roehampton Esports, but we just launched our brand new website, which is roehampton.gg.
It's really good.
I'm really happy.
I'm really excited about it. There's a player form as you come in, and there's a society form. You can fill those in, and basically be part of the society, play competitively, or you can be one of our society reps, get involved with the teams. Really good. You can be a caster. There's so many roles available. Just check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the easiest and best ways for you to get involved. Also, if you're a Roehampton student, you can literally just come in and pop in here at any time.
Pop in for a chat.
Yeah, I'm here Monday to Friday, 10 till 5. Pedro is here Monday to Friday, 5 till 9. So at any point, just pop in and we'll give you a tour of our space, because we actually can do a tour now.
Yeah,
we actually do need to.
We have to walk.
We have to walk.
It's crazy.
It's an official tour right now. So we'll do that. Last question.
Right.
I'm gonna do one last question.
One last question.
What future events would you like to host in the esports arena? I'm gonna start with Max. Not you. You've been talking a lot. Max.
Fair enough.
Future events. Well, I think always the fun events are the 1v1 tournaments. They're always a lot of fun.
Yep.
So CS:GO, maybe a Dota mid or a League mid 1v1. They're always good fun to watch and to play.
Really good fun, yeah.
Bradley?
I mean, something beautiful about the arena is the amount of space we have now, especially with the new rooms that we have, is I would really like to see a LAN event here, because we have the facilities to have 5 people in a room. We can adhere to Corona guidelines given by the government, and we can have a tournament here, potentially, and hopefully, with a proper production room and 2 competitive rooms.
Yeah,
100%.
Pedro?
Yeah, just as Rad was saying, I think it's great. LAN party or something like that. We've got the cameras now. We can see players' perspectives. We can do charity streams.
Yeah.
We just want to do everything really.
Yeah. So exactly the same thing for me, unfortunately, because I had such a good answer prepped, and I felt like I'm gonna be the only one, and then both of you said the same answer. I really want to host more LAN events, not necessarily just Roehampton LAN events. I want to take it to the next level. You know, let's say if the new and NSE are hosting it, to do the semifinals in the esports arena. I know the timings are really tricky because the teams have to play, and if one team is from London, other one is from Edinburgh, it's not gonna work. But
of course,
like doing some more regional stuff maybe as well and things like that would be really, really cool. As well as setting up the live streaming room, which we'll be start doing from tomorrow. That's gonna be really, really exciting.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
And just hosting more events and giving our students more opportunities and giving other students from other universities a feeling of, oh, god damn it, we chose the wrong university because they have this amazing esports arena. And a lot of people can do their postgrad degrees and get the esports scholarship that way.
Yeah, you can do your masters.
Yeah, you can do your masters, exactly. So that's it. That's it with the questions. I can see still people asking questions. I can't really see the questions. I can see the questions being asked. What I'm gonna do now is, because I love content. I love creating content. And we're going to stretch it out a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the stream and I'm going to go through the questions. I'll see the top questions. I'm going to answer them separately in a separate video with the same branding from zero to hero. What I want to say, thank you so much. I'm going to give the gentleman one last time to say anything else they want or just say goodbye and thank you. So Max, anything to say?
No, just thank you for watching. Yeah, come play esports at Roehampton for sure.
come play Dota 2 with Max, exactly, yeah. Bradley?
Yeah, if you think you got what it takes, we have a great program here, especially if you guys are just finishing your A-levels or other programs. And yeah, it's always worth a shot applying for the scholarships because it's a really great opportunity.
Yeah. Pedro?
100%. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. This has been our arena. This has been some of our scholarship students. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you to ZOWIE. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What I want to say as well, to echo all of the thank yous from before, I also want to thank to Chrono for helping us behind the scene to produce this lovely stream. He's been doing amazing work. I'm sure we'll see him more on the production side of Roehampton Esports streams, especially 100%. When we have the live streaming room. Also want to thank Salsa, Fanny, and Edvinas for helping us out and supporting Roehampton in all the ways they have been supporting us so far. It's our second year going together, and I feel like the relationship is growing much stronger within each year. Yeah, and I want to thank all of you, all of people who tuned in to watch this stream. I'm really, really happy and humbled by how many of you actually showed up. It's been a great event. Thank you so much. I'm not going to mumble on. There is going to be a video answering more of the questions. Thank you so much. And goodbye.
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 See you.
Toasted Wiener on Twitter.